Hey guys, welcome to Sim Racing Paddock. My name is William Marsh, and we are going to be taking a look at Project Cars. Now, Project Cars is the latest title to be in development by Slightly Mad Studios, and it is one of the eagerly anticipated games for 2015, and we are only weeks away from launch. A lot of people in the community are asking, is this title worth the hype? Is this going to be the greatest sim of 2015? Can it overthrow the R Factor 2s, the Assetto Corsas, the iRacings, etc.? That is what I am looking to try to find an answer to now in this video preview of Project Cars. So I hope you enjoy watching. I'm going to be taking a couple of cars for a spin across some of the tracks available in Project Cars and seeing how they feel, how they race against the AI, and just how Project Cars is in a well-rounded package. So let's get behind the wheel and have some fun. Okay, so first up, I took the BMW Z4 GT3 race car around Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, and honestly, I was going into it bracing myself for the worst. I'd heard a lot of horror stories about how the AI was performing in Project Cars, and for this particular setup is actually quite decent, where I didn't have too much crazy drivers. It seemed like the AI had some idea of where I was on the track, but there were some issues with the AI cutting the track and also just having some quite erratic behavior, as you could see behind me when the cars completely destroyed the barriers. It was all in all a good race. However, the AI was admittedly a little weak. For all these races, ran the cars at 100% AI, so running these races, I know I'm not the best driver, and with me having as many offs as I did, I should have been in the back of the pack instead of competing for a top 5. In terms of driving feel, I was pleasantly surprised by Project Cars. While I would say it is not at a hardcore simulation level, all of the fundamentals were there, and the physics were quite believable. A lot of people complain about Slightly Mad Studios' previous titles, like Need for Speed Shift 1 and 2, and I would say they are warranted. However, I will say that these cars feel a lot better than those titles. In the Shift series, they were quite floaty. It almost felt like driving a 2007 Toyota Camry, which was one of my sister's old cars, and that drove like a boat. However, in Project Cars, the cars feel quite planted on the ground, and the force feedback does a solid job of communicating with what the car is doing. If I could compare the force feedback to another title, I would say that it reminds me of Dirt 2's behavior on roads. You could place the car where you want it, control some slides, and be able to get an idea on what the car wanted to do. I will say the physics do feel dumbed down though. The cars feel too easy to control and almost too responsive. With so much grip in the cars, it requires you to be very careful in oversteer situations, because too much countersteer will send you shooting off the track. Now, onto one of my biggest gripes, the sounds. I just don't like them in Project Cars. I've found them to be too digitized and also poorly mixed. When you hear upshifts in a lot of the cars in Project Cars, including the BMW Z4 GT3, which is one of my favorite sounding cars ever, you'll literally hear the car's noise cut out, which almost sounds like a skip in a CD. That is one of the most frustrating parts about driving these cars, because the rest of it feels good. Another thing that was irritating over a year ago and was never fully fixed was the upshift transmission warble. It was implemented in Project Cars to simulate the drivetrain flex and stuff like that, but it never truly sat well with me because it felt like a canned effect. So a year and a half ago, I reported it in the WMD forums, and it was never really fixed, so a lot of the cars have an ugly upshift sound because of it. After the GT3 race at Laguna Seca, I took the Lotus 49 to Spa, and I could see what everybody was complaining about. Forget Bugbear Studios. This race was a wreckfest. The AI were just not functioning well at the track, they were cutting the majority of corners, and they had almost no spatial awareness. They were running into each other on the straightaways in addition to the corners. It actually took me 6 attempts to complete one lap in a race with 100% AI because I would just get smacked around so much, and wheel-to-wheel contact in Project Cars equals death. After one fateful try, which resulted in some major damage to my car, I entered the pits and was greeted by the automated pit assist, which, as of April 27, 2015, cannot be turned off. I had my car service done and was on my way out when the assist literally smashed my car into the wall exiting the pits. That resulted in more damage to my car, which I couldn't do anything about. This would have been forgiven in an early beta, but not in a title that went gold last week. Luckily, as of right now, more races are like my GT3 race at Laguna Seca than the Lotus 49 at Spa. However, there is no denying Project Cars is still an unfinished title. There is still quite a bit of work to be done, and hopefully that will come as a day one patch. If this title were to released as is today as a complete game, I couldn't score it higher than a 7.5, because this isn't a complete title. This is just a mixed match of content put together haphazardly and expected to be as a full game. On top of that, night racing still seems to be broken at some tracks, where, for example, I took the Le Mans series to Le Mans, which is one of the staple content for Project Cars, ran it at midnight, and it looked like 9 p.m., where it was still light in some areas. On top of that, I've also had some races that were scripted to have rain, but it never came. Again, a day one patch could resolve a lot of the issues, which is what I'm hoping for. But as of right now, there are a lot of issues, and that has me scared. I had wondered in the past if Slightly Mad Studios bit off a little more than they could chew, trying to simulate all of these different series to pull off all of this different stuff. Judging from what I've seen here, that answer might be yes. This game is still a mess at times, and Slightly Mad Studios is in danger of having some serious damage control if they don't mop it up fast. Well, that'll wrap up my preview of Project Cars on the PC. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please press the like button below and subscribe to our channel so you can stay updated on the latest videos. Check us out at www.simracingpaddock.com, where you can stay in the know on the latest going on in sim racing. For the Sim Racing Paddock, I'm William Marsh, and you have yourself a great rest of your day.